When I was a young doctor, I remember sitting beside a patient named Margaret. She was 72, bright-eyed and full of stories about her grandchildren. But she whispered something to me one day that broke my heart. "Dr. Bryan," she said, "I never thought I'd lose my freedom because of my kidneys." What she meant was that fatigue, swelling, and constant medical checkups were stealing her independence. And she was right. Our kidneys, those two fist-sized organs tucked quietly in the back, hold more power over our lives than we realize. They are the silent filters that keep our blood clean, our fluids balanced, and our energy steady. Yet too often, damage creeps in slowly, almost invisibly, until we're suddenly facing high creatinine levels and frightening words like chronic kidney disease. I'm Dr. Bryan, and welcome to Channel Vital Science for Seniors. Today, we'll uncover 9 foods that can help protect your kidneys and reclaim your vitality. I once had a gentleman in his late 60s named Robert who came to see me after his doctor told him his creatinine was climbing. He was frightened. He thought his kidneys were failing right before his eyes. What I explained to Robert was that kidneys don't always collapse overnight. Often they decline slowly, and the foods we choose can either add fuel to the fire or help protect kidney function. That's where something as humble as cauliflower comes in. Think of your kidneys like a coffee filter. If the filter is clogged with too many grounds, the coffee turns bitter and muddy. Cauliflower, being naturally low in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium, is like giving that filter a lighter workload. Instead of straining against a heavy burden of minerals, the kidneys can pass fluids more smoothly. For someone watching their diet for kidney disease, that difference can be powerful. Cauliflower also carries fiber, gentle but firm like a broom sweeping through your digestive system. By moving waste and toxins out efficiently, fiber keeps more of the mess from ever reaching your kidneys. And it's not just about cleaning. Cauliflower comes with antioxidants like vitamin C and manganese, tiny guardians that fight off oxidative stress, the invisible rust that wears down kidney tissue over time. I told Robert to enjoy a cup of cauliflower 2 or 3 times a week, whether mashed like potatoes, roasted until golden, or added to soups. Within months, he not only enjoyed the taste, but felt lighter, with steadier blood pressure and more energy. The science supports it too. Research has consistently shown that low potassium, high antioxidant foods can slow the progression of kidney problems and help protect kidney health. Sometimes the road back to vitality begins with something as simple as adding a few florets to your plate. Not long ago, I met Helen, a retired teacher who had been told she needed to eat kidney-friendly foods. She looked at me with a puzzled smile and said, "Does that mean I have to give up all the tasty things, doctor?" I chuckled and handed her a small bowl of blueberries. "Try these," I said. The sparkle in her eyes after that first bite told me I had my answer. Blueberries are nature's jewels, small but mighty. Inside each berry is a storehouse of antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, the compounds that give them their deep blue color. You might imagine anthocyanins as tiny shields, standing guard against oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is like rust on a car. It builds up slowly, weakening the structure until it finally breaks. In our bodies, this stress damages delicate kidney tissues. Blueberries help neutralize those harmful free radicals, slowing that rusting process and giving your kidneys a fighting chance. But there's more. These little fruits are low in sodium, potassium, and phosphorus, which means they're gentle on the kidneys. For anyone living with high creatinine or managing a diet for kidney disease, that's no small gift. By keeping mineral levels balanced, blueberries prevent the kidneys from straining like overworked pumps. And because they are high in water, they also help maintain proper hydration, which is crucial to flush out toxins. One scientific study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry highlighted how blueberries can reduce inflammation markers in the body. Inflammation is one of the silent villains behind kidney damage, gnawing away at tissues without you realizing it. Blueberries quietly calm that fire. When Helen began adding half a cup of blueberries to her breakfast routine, sometimes on yogurt, sometimes blended in a smoothie, she found not only her kidneys benefited, but her energy and mood lifted too. For her, blueberries became more than food. They were a daily reminder that protecting her health could still taste delicious. A man named David once told me he hated the feeling of being thirsty all the time. His kidneys weren't flushing waste the way they used to, and even though he drank water, he felt bloated and uncomfortable. When I suggested adding cucumbers to his meals, he laughed. "Doctor, cucumbers? Aren't those just crunchy water?" And I smiled and said, "Exactly. And that's why they're so powerful." Cucumbers are made of about 96% water, which makes them one of nature's best hydrators. For kidneys struggling to filter toxins, that water acts like a gentle river, washing away impurities and keeping the body's fluid balance steady. Without enough hydration, waste can settle in the system like silt at the bottom of a pond, leading to kidney stones or swelling in the legs. Cucumbers keep that current moving. What makes them even more kidney-friendly is how little stress they put on the organs. They're naturally low in sodium and phosphorus, which means they don't force your kidneys to overwork. And unlike salty snacks that tighten blood vessels and raise blood pressure, cucumbers help keep those vessels relaxed, easing strain on the kidney's delicate filters. Cucumbers also carry antioxidants such as vitamin C and beta-carotene. These compounds patrol the body, reducing oxidative stress, the same hidden process that scars kidney tissues over time. Scientists have observed that diets rich in antioxidant-packed vegetables lower inflammation markers, and cucumbers fit right into that healing picture. I asked David to try eating one cucumber a day, sliced into salads, blended into smoothies, or even just sprinkled with a little lemon. Within weeks, he told me his swelling had lessened, his energy had improved, and he felt lighter, as though his body was finally working with him instead of against him. Sometimes protecting kidney function doesn't require complicated treatments. It can begin with the simple crunch of a cucumber. There's a saying we've all heard: an apple a day keeps the doctor away. When it comes to kidneys, there's more truth in that phrase than most people realize. I remember Mary, a 68-year-old living with type 2 diabetes, who came to see me with concerns about her rising blood sugar and the impact it might have on her kidneys. She'd read about high creatinine and kidney disease diets, but felt overwhelmed. I told her, "Mary, let's start with something simple: an apple." Apples are remarkable because they contain both soluble and insoluble fiber. The soluble fiber, called pectin, forms a soft gel in the digestive tract. Think of it like a sponge that soaks up sugar and toxins before they can flood into the bloodstream. By slowing sugar absorption, pectin helps regulate blood sugar spikes that can otherwise damage the fragile blood vessels in the kidneys. The insoluble fiber, meanwhile, keeps the digestive system moving, sweeping away waste so the kidneys don't have to bear the full burden. But apples don't stop there. They are rich in antioxidants like quercetin and catechin, which serve as bodyguards against oxidative stress. That stress is like unseen fire eating away at kidney tissue. And antioxidants are the fire hoses that keep it under control. For people with diabetes, where inflammation and vessel damage are constant threats, these protective compounds can make a meaningful difference. Mary started eating one apple each evening, often sliced and sprinkled with a touch of cinnamon. Over time, her blood sugar steadied, her digestion improved, and she felt more in control of her health. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition even found that higher apple consumption was linked with reduced markers of inflammation, adding science to Mary's personal success story. An apple may seem small, but for aging kidneys, it's a steady ally. Sweet, simple, and protective in ways that matter deeply over the years. When I think about kidneys and longevity, I often think of Mr. Alvarez, a retired carpenter who came to me worried about his diet. His doctor had warned him that his kidney numbers were creeping up, and he wanted to know if there was anything he could eat to help. "Doctor," he said, "I grew up by the sea. I've always loved fish. Can I keep it in my diet?" His relief was visible when I told him not only could he keep it, but that fish could be one of his strongest allies. Fish provides high-quality protein, the kind that supports muscle repair, without overwhelming the kidneys. Protein is essential, but when it comes from heavy fatty meats, it leaves behind metabolic waste that can strain the kidneys. Fish, on the other hand, gives the body what it needs without overloading those fragile filters. What makes fish especially valuable for kidney health is its omega-3 fatty acids. Think of omega-3s as oil for the engine. They reduce inflammation, smooth out blood flow, and keep the vessels leading into the kidneys flexible rather than stiff. Inflammation is one of the hidden villains in chronic kidney disease, slowly damaging the microscopic filters inside. A large review published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that people who ate 2 servings of oily fish per week had a significantly lower risk of developing kidney disease. Mr. Alvarez began eating salmon twice a week, grilled simply with herbs and lemon. Within months, his blood pressure improved, his energy rose, and his lab results stabilized. He told me it felt like coming home to the meals of his youth, but with a new sense of purpose. He wasn't just eating for pleasure, but to protect kidney function and his independence. For anyone watching their creatinine or searching for a sustainable diet for kidney disease, fish is more than a meal. It's a lifeline, carrying the strength of the sea into every cell and keeping the kidneys working smoothly. A woman named Teresa once confided in me, "Doctor, I've spent most of my life afraid of oils and fats. I thought they were all bad for me. But now that my kidneys aren't what they used to be, I don't know what I can safely use." I reassured her with a smile and held up a small bottle of golden olive oil. "This," I told her, "isn't just cooking oil. It's medicine in a bottle." Olive oil, especially extra virgin, is rich in monounsaturated fats. Think of these fats as the good kind of fuel, like clean burning wood in a fireplace that warms the house without filling it with smoke. They protect blood vessels, reducing strain on the heart and kidneys. When blood flows smoothly, the kidneys can filter waste without being battered by high pressure. In fact, high blood pressure is the second leading cause of kidney failure, so anything that keeps it under control is priceless. But olive oil doesn't stop at healthy fats. It's also loaded with antioxidants, including vitamin E and flavonoids, which act like shields against oxidative stress. These compounds prevent the rusting of kidney tissues that occurs over years of exposure to free radicals. Several studies, including research published in the journal Nutrients, have shown that people with chronic kidney disease who consume extra virgin olive oil experience reduced inflammation and improved kidney function markers. I encourage Teresa to use about 2 to 3 teaspoons daily on her salads, drizzled over vegetables, or even lightly brushed onto bread. Within months, her cholesterol improved, her blood pressure steadied, and she told me she felt more confident in her kitchen than ever before. Olive oil isn't just about taste, it's about nourishment that reaches into the very cells of your kidneys. For seniors searching for a safe, kidney-friendly fat, this golden liquid is both comfort and protection. I'll never forget Samuel, a soft-spoken man in his 70s who came to me with concerns about his blood pressure. He had been told that high blood pressure was damaging his kidneys, but he felt powerless to change it. One day I asked him about his cooking habits and he chuckled. "Doctor, I've always loved garlic, but my wife says it makes the house smell too strong." I leaned in and said, "Samuel, that smell is the scent of healing." Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which only forms when the clove is chopped or crushed. Allicin is like a natural shield. It lowers inflammation, reduces oxidative stress, and even helps blood vessels relax so blood can flow freely. For kidneys, that means less strain, less scarring, and more efficient filtering of waste. Think of it as easing the pressure off a water hose. When the flow is smooth, the hose lasts longer. What makes garlic even more valuable is its low potassium content. For people managing high creatinine or following a diet for kidney disease, garlic adds flavor without adding stress to the kidneys. It's a spice that heals rather than harms. Studies, including research published in the journal Food and Function, have demonstrated garlic's ability to improve blood pressure and protect against kidney damage caused by oxidative stress. When Samuel began adding 2 cloves of garlic to his daily meals, sometimes sautéed with vegetables, sometimes roasted until sweet, his blood pressure slowly eased down. After a few months, he told me with a smile, "Doctor, my wife doesn't complain about the smell anymore. She says it smells like life." Garlic may be small, but it's a powerful friend to the kidneys, offering protection, flavor, and a reminder that natural remedies often live right in our kitchens. A patient named Lillian once told me, "Doctor, I miss color on my plate. Since I started this low potassium diet, everything feels so bland." I smiled and handed her a bright red bell pepper. Here, I said, this isn't just color, it's medicine dressed up as food. Red bell peppers are especially valuable for people with kidney concerns because they are naturally low in potassium. That makes them safe even when creatinine levels are high or when following a strict diet for kidney disease. Unlike many other vegetables that may burden the kidneys with excess minerals, peppers deliver flavor without the strain, but it's what they contain that makes them truly powerful. Packed with vitamin C and vitamin A, as well as antioxidants like lycopene, red bell peppers act like a protective paint coating on a house, shielding kidney tissues from the wear and tear of oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is one of the quiet villains in kidney damage, slowly scarring the filters that cleanse the blood. By neutralizing free radicals, the compounds in peppers keep that damage in check. They also provide fiber, which helps the digestive system carry waste out of the body efficiently. The less waste left behind, the less your kidneys need to filter. And that means more energy and less strain overall. Lillian began adding 1 red bell pepper a day to her meals, sometimes sliced raw as a crunchy snack, other times roasted until tender and sweet. Within weeks, she told me her meals felt vibrant again, and she had the joy of eating without fear. Science backs this up too. Diets rich in colorful, antioxidant-filled vegetables have been linked to lower inflammation markers and healthier kidney outcomes. So when you see that splash of red on your plate, remember, it's more than decoration. It's your kidney's ally, guarding them quietly while bringing pleasure back to eating. When my patient Diane came into my office, she looked worried. Her doctor had mentioned her kidney function was declining, and she was overwhelmed by the list of don'ts on her diet plan. No bananas, no oranges, no tomatoes. She sighed and said, "Doctor, is there anything left that's both sweet and safe?" I smiled and handed her a small bowl of strawberries. These, I said, are joy you can eat without fear. Strawberries are a gift to the kidneys because they're low in potassium, making them gentle for people managing high creatinine or following a diet for kidney disease. Unlike many fruits that overload the kidneys, strawberries offer sweetness without strain. But beyond that, they're brimming with antioxidants like vitamin C and manganese. Imagine free radicals as tiny sparks threatening to set fire to your kidney tissues. These antioxidants act like water, extinguishing those sparks before they cause lasting damage. Strawberries also bring fiber to the table, supporting healthy digestion. When your digestive system runs smoothly, fewer toxins build up in the bloodstream, which means less work for the kidneys. It's like having a teammate who takes half the load off your shoulders. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition has even highlighted how diets rich in berries can reduce inflammation and improve cardiovascular health, both of which are directly tied to kidney protection. When Diane began eating half a cup of strawberries several times a week, sometimes with yogurt, sometimes on their own, she said it felt like she had a little piece of freedom back. Her meals no longer felt like punishment, but like a celebration of life. And in truth, every bright red berry she ate was not just food, but medicine in disguise. If you've been told your kidneys aren't as strong as they once were, it's easy to feel discouraged, even frightened. But I want you to remember this. Healing doesn't always come from dramatic measures or complicated treatments. Often, it begins with the small, steady choices we make every day. A cup of cauliflower, a handful of blueberries, the crunch of cucumber, or the sweetness of strawberries. These are not just foods, they are gentle medicines, restoring balance and protecting the delicate filters that keep your blood clean. Science shows us that inflammation and oxidative stress are the hidden enemies of kidney health, and every bite of these 9 foods helps fight back. But beyond science, there is hope. No matter your age, your body still longs to heal, and your kidneys still respond to care. I'm Dr. Brian, and I believe it's never too late to reclaim health, independence, and joy.